Welcome to HuffPost Live 321. I'm Ahmed Shahabuddin, and I am joined by Mark Lamont Hill, my co-host.
Good to be here, Ahmed.
That seemed staged. I feel like we should start again.
It felt so natural to me.
Yeah, not contrived at all. Speaking about not contrived, it seems there's a lot of people who feel as though the Olympics, or at least NBC's coverage of the Olympics, is one big fail. Looking at the screen, it's Trends Map, quickly giving you a sense of who's talking about this on Twitter. So even in Saskatchewan, Canada, people seem to be using the hashtag NBCFail. But if we go across the pond, even in Europe and elsewhere in the world. So, Mark, this was really about the fact that it was not live, right? That's how this hashtag started.
Right. It was just bad coverage. I mean, you wait 4 years for the Olympics to pop up, and you want to see the action live. And maybe 50 years ago, when there wasn't the internet, when there wasn't 24-hour cable news, you could hide the fact that it wasn't
Twitter.
Right. Exactly. And Twitter just takes it to a whole other level.
Right.
But now NBC's showing stuff 6 hours later than they're supposed to.
I know.
After the stuff airs, they didn't even show the opening ceremonies on time.
I know.
So people are ticked off, and you see NBC fail as a hashtag.
People are ticked off, and you know, there's this a new hashtag. Well done, NBC. Vegas Paul writes. First, you censor the Olympic ceremony, then you try to censor free speech. Save Guy Adams. So who is Guy Adams? Well, this is the HuffPost article today saying Guy Adams, who is he's the LA, I believe, editor of The Independent. He's a correspondent, rather. He tweeted that the NBC Olympics president's email address, he tweeted it so that people might complain, so that they could voice their concerns about this NBC fail hashtag, and direct it to someone who might listen. Now, let's look at the tweet. This is the tweet right here. It says, the man responsible for NBC pretending the Olympics hasn't started yet is Gary Zenkel. Tell him what you think, and then there's his email address. Now, we are showing his email address. His email address is accessible on Google.
Yeah, it's public information.
So what's the issue here? Because what happened is Twitter suspended him, basically saying that
he released private info.
Exactly.
Apparently,
let's look at this headline that Guy Adams himself, the guy who's had his Twitter account suspended, this is in The Independent today. It says, I thought the internet age had ended this kind of censorship and that he's still waiting for a detailed explanation from Twitter. Guy, I know that you're with us. We were just talking about this case. Can you, you're joining us via the phone, just share with us where the situation stands now. Have you spoken or heard from Twitter or NBC?
Sure. The situation now is, I mean, I'm a working journalist, first of all. And I need Twitter to do my job, actually, which is testament to quite how useful and good a service Twitter can provide.
Right.
I just want to be able to get back on Twitter, go back to doing my job, which is writing about the West Coast of America for The Independent, a British newspaper. Now, the situation as things stand is that Twitter, in order to, I think in their words, consider ending my suspension, Twitter want me to email them to say that I understand their rules and that I won't, that I understand why I was suspended and effectively that I won't do it again.
But what is it?
Well, this is the problem. I've emailed them back and said, I mean, my position is I've read their rules, I've reread their rules, I still don't understand how I broke them. I don't think they understand how I broke them. I think they're making up their rules as they go along, frankly. I mean, one of their rules is that if you tweet any information which is already on the internet, then it can't be considered a breach of privacy.
Is that explicitly stated in their rules?
Explicitly stated. In fact, I've got a quote sitting in front of me. This is Twitter's own rules, and this is in inverted commas because it comes straight from their website. If information was previously posted or displayed elsewhere on the internet prior to being put on Twitter, it is not a violation of this policy.
And the email address that you posted was the exact email address that's listed on another site with no alterations, no changes.
Yeah, it could be, and in fact, it wasn't even a hard email address to find. It could be found by anyone who had the guy's name and a website called Google, which I guess one or two people know how to use. I mean, it took me 30 seconds to find it, and I'm not even particularly skillful at using.
Stop being humble, guy.
You're being too humble, guy. But I have a question for you. To what extent do you think this is about a conspiracy, as some people are saying, where NBC, sort of plotted to squash a dissenting voice, or to what extent do you think this is just an error that comes from the bureaucracy of a big organization?
Well, first of all, Twitter isn't a big organization, so, I mean, it's a relatively, despite its enormous influence, it's actually a relatively small organization. But it's an interesting question. I mean, as a journalist, I try not to get sucked in by conspiracy theories. There are so many conspiracy theories out there. Most of them turn out to be absolute nonsense, and sometimes it makes me I get slightly angry watching how they can spread. In this case, however, I have, this time yesterday, I despite the fact that Twitter and NBC have a commercial relationship, I was inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt and suspect that this is just some sort of cock-up.
Right. Since
yesterday, I've tried. I've left my phone number. I've sent emails. I can't get anyone at Twitter to talk to me about this.
Guy, on that note, I want to ask you, have you even tried or considered maybe just creating another Twitter account with another email address and tweeting again? I mean, I just wonder, have you been banned or just has your account been suspended?
My account's been suspended. I mean, I could do that, but frankly, the only way my account's useful to me is if I can follow the people that I need to follow to do my job.
Yeah.
All of those people are currently, all sort of 600 or 700 of them, are currently in my account. And so it would be a massive pain in the backside to try and create another account.
Well, Guy, I wish we would have had you earlier on, but we were talking and reading one of the tweets that is in our HuffPost slideshow about your case. From Steve Pinches. I don't know if you know him, and I just wanted to put this to you because he says, sure, Guy Adams is a nice guy and all, but a journalist sharing shifty live streams of Olympics isn't really cricket, no matter your views on NBC. What do you say to Steve? I think he's trying to say that the fact that you as a journalist are sharing shifty live streams, the idea being perhaps illegal live streams of the Olympics, isn't really,
Why was I sharing live streams? I don't understand.
Well, were you? On your Twitter account, perhaps you were tweeting out ways to watch the Olympics? I don't know.
I might have retweeted a tweet to that effect.
Right.
I can't honestly remember. But look, as a journalist, I'm simply journalists are in the business of information.
Yeah.
The Olympic opening ceremony was a major world news event that every single person in the world, except people unfortunate enough to live in America, was able to watch live, and that's right and proper. And as a journalist, and it's my job to try and find out what's going on. And if I can't watch an opening ceremony on the enormous Megatron television that I've bought for that very purpose and is sitting in my living room, then I have to, frankly, I have to watch it through whatever medium I can. I guess maybe I did tweet a link to.
All right, Guy. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but one last question for you. If you do get your Twitter account back with all your followers, which will make your job as a journalist easier, and I can definitely relate. What's your first tweet going to be? Can you give us a little preview, perhaps?
The problem about the thing about Twitter is I suppose it's a sort of spontaneous medium. So I'll just tweet whatever's at the forefront of my mind at that time, if it happens, which it hopefully will. Hopefully, common sense will prevail, and it will.
So no snappy retort to NBC. No, aha, I got my account back. Nothing like that.
Look, I think that might be a little smug, don't you? In truth, NBC, although they're ruining the 3 weeks or 2 weeks that this Olympic Games is going to last for me, they're not going to ruin my whole life, and they're not an obsession of mine. I'm just a normal TV viewer who wants to be able to watch the Olympics. And
that's blasphemy. Blasphemy. All right, Guy. Well, we're gonna end it there. Thanks so much for joining us. And also, just FYI, my Gmail address is accessible on Google. If you want to incorporate that into your first tweet, go ahead. You have my permission. I am not as famous as the NBC guy, nor do I have any clout. But
I'm going to report you if you do.
You will?
Yes.
Will you suspend me?
Yes, I will. I want your Twitter followers. That's why.
Oh, right.
I'm going to cancel them out.
I forgot. This conversation was so good. I forgot we have beef.
We do have beef.
Okay,
we do have beef. We'll sort it out next week. We have beef about our Twitter followers because I dwarf him in Twitter followers.
Yeah.
He has now created some new metric about quality over quantity. Somehow he thinks his Twitter followers are better than mine. So if you're one of my Twitter followers, I've been saying that his are better than you.
I mean, I think that's a little misconstrued.